Okay, it's Enrique. My mother and father aren't English because they are Mexican, of course. They aren't English. And depending on you, I'm not married or I am married. And my grandmother isn't or is 75 years old, depending on your context, no? So both uh, are correct, no? These sentences were about you guys, basically. We are on page 13, página 13, no? For the ones who have the digital book or the physical book, just remember to be here, no? Or to write your answers. Hay que escribir, no? Number 6, activity about you. Write about you and your life. Read it out loud. Read it out loud. My name's I'm from I am. So it's not going to be for today exactly because I would like you to share a video. Or I like to show you a video which is one of my favorite YouTubers. It's called English with Emma. And I would like you to take notes as well. Quiero que tomen notas del video porque lo van a usar, ¿no? Básicamente, basically, you're going to use it. Ya está en Classroom. Es una actividad de writing, de su introduce yourself, como presentarnos y así. Ajá. Y también subí dos subvideos que ahorita los vamos a ver, ¿vale? Y vamos a ir part by part. Vamos a ir parte por parte, ¿vale? Para que no sea muy difícil para ustedes. Ok. All right. So the YouTuber is called English with Lucy, of course. Introduce. Pueden ponerle nada más introduce yourself in English, que son los primeros dos, basically, ¿no? Son los primeros dos. They are the first two. Those are my favorite YouTubers. So as you can see, it's a lot of views here. She's going to teach us informal ways to introduce, no? Or like in order to sound more natural. So aquí es el propósito, ¿no? Ya que estamos en el second level y estamos más viendo review of the verb to be y some verbs, well, it's a good practice, no? It's a great practice here. So whatever she mentions, so try to take notes, yeah, or write them down. Yeah, the commercial. Okay. See, if my computer gets stuck, me avisan. Porque a veces no sé cómo, como que se quiere trabar ya de tanto trabajo. Ok, creo que no se escucha, ¿verdad?
No.
No, ok, perfecto. Vale, ahí va.
Today, we are going to talk about self-introduction, the answer to that dreaded question, tell me about yourself. Now, to some of you, this topic may seem very basic, but learning to introduce yourself properly is incredibly important. You might need to introduce yourself without any forewarning, so you need to be prepared. You may need to introduce yourself in your English class or in a job interview. You might need to introduce yourself at a new job or at a new hobby or leisure activity. You may even need to introduce yourself at a big event or convention in front of thousands of people. I feel very nervous and anxious when I have to introduce myself to large groups of people, and English is my first language. For learners of English, for my students, this is incredibly intimidating. In order to successfully introduce yourself, you must have your self-introduction pre-written and learnt. You have to be prepared. In this video, I am going to guide you through this process.
So as she mentioned in her, this was kind of an introduction, the importance of introducing yourself, because if you get a job in another country or even here in Mexico, no, you can get a job and sometimes they interview you in English, no? So por eso luego no hay que mentir, ¿no? Sé 50% de inglés, ok, but you have to show it, ¿no? Tienen que demostrarlo. That's a good practice, ¿no? As she said, you have to be prepared. Tenemos que estar preparados, ¿no? You have to prepare, like previously you practice. And yeah, the majority of the students, or most of my students as well, they do have, they are shy, ¿no? Están un poco tímidos, or it's intimidating, ¿no? Es como que, ay, nos intimidamos de que, oh, okay, but no, it shouldn't be like that. No debería ser así. Entonces, in this video, what you will learn, you'll be taking notes, van a estar tomando notas de certain phrases, ¿no? Certain phrases, what to mention when you are introducing yourself, so you can sound natural and you have like a fluid speaking conversation. Y bueno, aparte porque también es tarea mía. Entonces, también es tarea mía. So.
Yes. At the end of this lesson, you will have a complete self-introduction of a self-introduction. The very first thing that you'll need to say when introducing yourself is a greeting. Now, you can have formal greetings or you can have informal greetings. It depends where you are, the situation you are in. Let's start with formal greetings. Obviously, hello. Hello can be both formal and informal, but it's fine to use it in a formal situation. You also have good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Make sure you pay particular attention to what time of day it is. I have said good morning in the evening and good evening in the morning before. One thing to note is the use of good day. In British English, good day is considered very old-fashioned, very, very, very formal. It's not commonly used. However, it is very common in Australian English. They kind of shorten it down to g'day. G'day. And I would say that g'day, I wonder what Emma from English will think of me saying g'day. Will she approve? I'll ask her. But g'day is more informal, but this again is if you're in Australia. It's just something I've noticed people using in my comment section, good day. I can see why you would use it. It appears to be a greeting that is suitable for all hours of the day, when in reality, in British English, it's just a very, very old-fashioned saying. Also note that good night is normally a send-off, an equivalent for goodbye. You say it when you are leaving instead of when you are greeting someone. If you're introducing yourself in the nighttime, you would say good evening. Now
Okay, so important here, as she mentioned, no?
greeting someone. If you're
When, remember, if it's 8 o'clock at night, a veces, sometimes I receive from my student messages que dicen, good night, teacher, ok, ya me voy a dormir, bueno, así como que, bueno, ya es muy temprano para dormir, no, recuerden que good night es cuando, as she mentioned, saying goodbye, ¿no? Cuando decimos adiós o cuando nos despedimos de una casa, nos vamos a nuestra casa, ¿no? Siempre decimos good night o night night, ¿no? Entonces, siempre que saludo sería good evening, ¿no? Good evening, instead of saying good night, ya se olvidan de good night, ya no, espero que ya no cometamos ese error. Good evening. Y si me quiero despedir, night, good night.
Introducing yourself in the nighttime, you would say good evening. Now let's talk about informal greetings. It's really important for you to find one that you feel comfortable with. There are lots of informal greetings like hey, what's up, hi, hiya, yo. There's even what's good, which is quite an American one. Honestly, if I said yo when I was introducing myself in an English class or in a less formal situation, I would feel really stupid because it doesn't suit me. My particular region doesn't use yo, so it feels a bit forced. I really admire people who can just stand up and say, yo, what's good? But it's not going to happen for me. So make sure you pick one that you feel really comfortable saying. Next, of course, we have your name. Now, there are many ways of introducing your name. The very basic ones like I'm or I am, I'm Lucy, I am Lucy. Or if you're introducing yourself in a situation where the majority of the audience cannot see you, for example, on the telephone, no one can really see you when you're speaking on the telephone. You can say my name is or my name's with the apostrophe S, the contracted form. Or if you're in a very large auditorium or convention centre, then you might want to use this is. This is Lucy. On the telephone, I would normally say hi, this is Lucy. Next, let's talk about location.
Sorry, when you are talking on the phone, when you phone someone else and you sort of normally say, this is Enrique, or is this Lucy talking? Is this Lucy speaking? Oh, yes. Oh, no, it isn't. No, normally when you say on the phone.
Where you're from and where you're living. There are many variations of this. I'm going to start with the most basic and move on to slightly more complicated ways of describing your geographical location. Firstly, we have I'm from and then the place name. I'm from Bedfordshire. We also have I'm and then the nationality adjective. I'm British. I'm English. If you are from somewhere that is quite far from the place where you're introducing yourself, you can say I come from, and then you can name that place. Come from implies a little bit more of a journey. If you want to say where you grew up, you can say I was born and raised in place name. I was born and raised in England. If you were born in one place but grew up.
All right, so this is one of two most useful phrases. Instead of saying I am from, which is, it tends to be boring, ¿no? A veces como que es muy aburrido. I'm from Mexico. That's, yeah, bueno, okay. I come from Jojutla, but I was born and raised in Italy, no? I can say. Also, she mentioned I grew up, ¿no? Grew up, también pueden usar esa expresión, I grew up. Es como, it makes the conversation more interesting, ¿no? Lo hacen como que más interesante, más cuando están usados these expressions, ¿no? I come from, I was born, nací y me crecí, raised. Yeah, for example, I live in Cuernavaca, but I was born and raised in Jojutla. You can say that.
In a different place, you can say I was born in France but raised in Sweden. If you want to say that you are from one place but are now living in another place, there are various options. You can say I grew up in LA but now live in New York. I'm originally from Edinburgh but I'm now based in London. If you want to say how long you have lived in a certain place, you can say I've been living in London for 3 years. Or I've spent the past few years in Paris. Now, those are the basics. Let's talk for 3 years. Or I've spent the past few years.
Also, you could say I've been living in London I've been living in Cuernavaca for 10 years so far. No, I've spent the past few years. He estado viviendo, ¿no? You could say that. I've been living, I've. Ese sonido de apóstrofe VE es I've, como si fuera una F. I've been, I've spent. Es present perfect, ¿no?
Is in Paris. Now, those are the basics. Let's talk about some other options that you can add on to your self-introduction. A very important option is your position and your company. For example, I work at Google in the marketing department. You can say I work at or I work for. You would not say I work in and then a company name. It's at or for a company name. You can also say I'm a manager at Starbucks. I'm a position at company. Again, the at can also be replaced with a for. If you just want to give a general idea of the field in which you work, you can say, I work in general area. I work in sales.
You can say I work in sales, I work in teaching, I work in engineering, no, for algunos, I work in accounting, mhm, or I work in an office. You can mention, so it says general area, no, and instead of saying I am a teacher, I'm a student, no. So there are other ways to say
If
I'm
you
a
want to
student.
give the
So she's gonna
specific
mention that.
position, you can say, I work as a deputy manager. I work as an accountant. I work as an accountant. You might also want to mention your qualifications, especially if you are introducing yourself in a job interview. If you want to say that you are close to graduation, you can say, I'm about to graduate. You could also say, I am a subject, graduate or postgraduate. I'm a marketing graduate. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in...
Yeah, that those expression I'm about to graduate es cuando ya les falta como 3 meses, ¿no? 6 months. I'm about to graduate. Bueno, if you pass in my English test course, no?
marketing.
Also, you could say I have a bachelor. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in marketing, ¿no? I have a bachelor es como tengo la universidad o tengo el título de universidad in marketing, in teaching, in engineering, ¿vale? Bachelor.
Or I have a
Y
BA
degree es
degree in
título.
marketing, or just a BA in marketing. I'm a biology postgrad. Shortening it down to grad is more informal, so it might be something that you do at a convention or in your English class. If you want to talk about courses or other achievements, you can say, I'm currently taking a course in subject, maths. Now,
For example, if you're not doing anything now, you can say I'm currently taking a course in English. No, I'm currently taking an English course. Es I'm currently es en ahorita, ¿no? Ahora, now. I am es un sinónimo de now.
note the preposition in versus on. You can take a course in something theoretical, like maths. You can take a course on something practical, like jewellery making or pottery. You can also remove the preposition. I'm taking a pottery course. If you want to say that you've finished a course, it's now on your CV, you can say, I have completed a 72-hour course in or on subject. For the time scale of the course, you can say the number, dash, and then the unit of time, and that together forms an adjective. A 72-hour subject course. A 3-day subject course. Now, if you want to talk about experience, about your previous jobs, you can say, I have number years of experience in the field. I have 3 years of experience in the neuroscience field at whichever company. You don't necessarily have to say field. You can say, I have 10 years of sales experience, or I have 10 years of experience in sales. You can also say, I've worked in field for however long you've worked there. I've worked in the accounting field for 3 years, or I've worked in accounting for 3 years. Now, if you're in a more informal situation, one in which you're introducing yourself to make friends and to meet people and to get to know each other better, you may want to talk about your family. Now, obviously, there are the normal things like I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a mum and a dad. But what if you want to give a little bit more information and also show off your language skills? One common mistake I hear my students make is when they're trying to talk about how large or how small their family is. They want to tell me how many family members there are in their family. I often hear them say, we are 5 in our family. This isn't correct in English.
So that's incorrect to say, ¿no? En mi familia somos 5, sería como la traducción, ¿no? We are 5 in our family, but that is totally incorrect. So instead of saying that, she's gonna mention we are
English, we
a
say,
family of 4,
I'm
¿no?
from a family of number. I'm from a family of 4. Or we are a family of 4. That's a really important one for you to remember. It's a mistake I hear very frequently.
So in my case, we are a family of three. My girlfriend, well, my wife, me, and my daughter. No, so you can say that I am o we are a family of y ya dicen el número, ¿no? Si son 5, 6, 7 en su casa. Ajá.
Frequently. If you want to talk about how many brothers or sisters you have, you can say, I am one.
Hello. En Open English tenemos un
Well, in the meantime, is the commercial. Just remember, there's another way to say brothers and sisters, que sería siblings. Siblings. She's gonna mention that.
One of 4 siblings. Siblings doesn't.
Siblings means brother and sisters, ¿no? En vez de decir I have brothers and sisters, puedes decir nada más I am, bueno, I have 3 siblings, sin mencionar, ¿no? Si son brothers o sisters. Pero en este caso sería lo ideal to use I am one of my 5 siblings, ¿no?
Specify the gender, so you don't have to say 2 brothers, 1 sister. You can just say siblings, 3. I'm one of 4 siblings. Or even if you're already talking about families, you can just say I'm one of 4 and they'll understand you. If you have no brothers or sisters, you can say I am an only child.
Yeah, and if you are you haven't got any brothers or sisters or siblings, you can say I'm the only one, ¿no? I am an only child. Por ahí también puedes decir I am the youngest, el más joven. I am the oldest of my siblings, ¿no? También pueden decir eso. Oldest, el más viejo, youngest. O I am the middle brother, the middle, el del medio, ¿no? Por así decirlo.
I'm an only child. You might want to talk about hobbies. You have all the usual phrases like I really like running, I really enjoy tennis. A really good phrase, I think, is running, I really enjoy tennis.
Okay, so there's another phrase. No quieren decir siempre lo mismo, I really like o I like. Bueno, de hecho, really le dan como más énfasis, but you can say oh as well, I really love. I really love. I really love. You can say either of 3 phrases instead of saying I like. Y recuerden cada vez que tengan estos verbos. Yeah, I know that it sounds repetitive, guys. Yo sé que suena un poco repetitivo, pero después, always, all the time, forever, el siguiente verbo siempre va a ser in ing form, ¿no? Aquí puso ella el ejemplo. She mentioned, I really like running. I love running. I enjoy running, ¿vale? Entonces, cada vez que tengan esos verbos, siempre van a ir ing, the next verbs.
A really good phrase, I think, is I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of go-karting. You can also say I am a keen and then a noun. For example, I'm
a keen runner. Aquí keen is interested in. ¿Sale? Es como estoy interesado o me gusta. Sale otro sinónimo. I'm a keen, pero tenemos que poner un noun, un sustantivo. I am a keen swimmer. I'm a keen runner. I'm a keen footballer. ¿No? Si les gusta el fútbol, I am keen footballer. I'm a keen, ¿qué puede ser? Tennis player, etc. ¿no?
keen runner, or I'm a keen tennis player. Now, I've left this one till last because it really isn't as necessary anymore. But it's important that you know how to say it. It's age. We have the basic one. I am 25 years old. We can shorten it down. I'm 25. If you don't want to specify your age, you can say I'm in my early, mid, or late, and then your decade. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, teens as well if you're really young. I'm in my mid-20s. She's in her early teens.
And also you could say, if you don't want to say, you don't want to mention your age, guys, you can say, I'm in my mid 30s. I am in my early 30s. I am in my late 20s. Or I am forever 21. Yes. Or in this case, my mom, she's in her late 50s. Si no queremos mencionar la edad, no? Because sometimes it's we don't want, no, we don't want to share. No queremos compartir. Para aparentar ser más jóvenes, ¿no? So apparently we are young.
He's in his late 40s. You might also hear people say, she's a 20-something marketing graduate, or he's a 30-something accountant. That's if you don't know their age or you think it would be rude to try and guess their age. Now, the last point in this vocabulary section of the lesson, I want to talk to you about the dreaded fun fact. I've been to a lot of events, I've been to a lot of conventions, and I've had to introduce myself in a lot of English classes. And something that teachers and speakers love to ask you to do is give a fun fact about yourself. I must admit, I have asked my students to provide a fun fact about themselves. It's annoying because you have to stand up and say my name is, my job is, and my fun fact is, and that can be really, really daunting, intimidating. To suddenly think of an interesting fact about yourself is really, really hard. So I highly recommend that you have a fun fact up your sleeve, a fun fact prepared. Think about an interesting fear, a weird like or dislike. A good one is always your pet.
Yes, as she mentioned, also you can give some fun facts, ¿no? Cosas únicas que ustedes pueden hacer, ¿no? Fun facts o cosas divertidas. Yeah, so you can say, oh, yeah, I'm afraid of dogs. Y pues así como que te puedes ver more interesting in a conversation, ¿no? So, le tengo miedo a los perros, ¿no? O I hate cats. Yeah, I hate cats. Or I can do this, ¿no? Y no sé, pueden mostrar su skill. Puedo hacer esto. I can do this. ¿No? O I am a really good guitar player, ¿no? Puede ser. O I play in a band, ¿no? También pueden decir. Cualquier cosa como que única que ustedes sean. O que puedan decir, ¿no? Acerca de ustedes.
Or a strange achievement or extraordinary experience. I always say that I have hypermobility, and then I'll just show them my thumbs, or dislocate my shoulder blade. That is twice in a month that I've done that on YouTube. I need to calm down. Have a think. If you want to do bonus homework, share your fun fact about yourself, but this is optional. I know how horrible the fun fact can be. Now, I've given you loads of different options. I've given you the basics and then you can add on the options, but you'll be left with a lot of short sentences. Let's see how mine would look. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucy. I am 24 years old. I am from Bedfordshire. I work as an English teacher. I am a marketing graduate. I'm a big fan of running and fitness classes. Now, whilst all of that is grammatically correct and very clear, if I do say so myself, I think it would be a lot better if I condensed these 7 sentences down.
Okay, yeah, important thing that she mentioned, no? As you can see, she said, well, she made pauses, no? Hace como que pausas. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lucy. Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Enrique. I am 32. I am originally from Jojutla. I work as an English teacher. Yeah, instead of saying pauses, it's like, as she said, get together, juntar todos los phrases and make even more interesting the conversation. So compare this speech with the other speech that she's gonna give, ¿no? Comparen lo que va a decir ahorita, ¿vale? ¿Cuál suena más interesante? Si this one or the other one.
Down into 2 flowing sentences. What do you think of this? Good morning, everyone. My name's Lucy, and I'm a 25-year-old marketing graduate from Bedfordshire. I now work as an English teacher, and I'm a big fan of running and fitness classes. So much better, so much shorter, so much more natural. See if you can condense your introduction.
Which one was better and more interesting? The first or the second, guys? ¿Cuál fue más interesante? Hello?
I think the second.
The second one, because she didn't make any poses y como que son más more natural, ¿no? Así como que, yeah. So that's the purpose of this video, basically, guys.
Down to 2 flowing sentences minus the greeting. That could be a little sentence on its own. I haven't removed any of the information. Right, I really look forward to reading.
So the purpose of this video, you can rewatch that as many times as possible if you want to practice your pronunciation or something else. In order to make, well, as I said before, it is part of your homework. Part of your homework is writing about you, and the second part is about, I would say, kind of oral exam, but it's like you are going to make a video, ¿no? Van a hacer un video donde you introduce yourself, pero no de la manera boring, sino de la manera interesante, ¿no? Usando este vocabulario para que suene mejor y more natural, como si fueran realmente, como si estuvieran presentándose en español, pero in English, ¿no? It sounds more natural. Bueno, talking about this girl, this other YouTuber, she mentioned as well other expression, ¿no? Menciona otras expresiones que igual podían anotar, for homework, yeah. Por ejemplo, aquí, I've been living, I move, ¿no? I moved to Perth. Dice otras cosas de la family. Básicamente, similar things, ¿no? Cosas similares, ¿no? I'm a single parent, I'm a mother of twins. Y bueno, es casi un video similar. Digamos que es la copia, it's a copy of Lucy, but she's Australian, ¿no? Y Lucy is British, ella es australiana, ¿no? Entonces, you decide, you can take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, ¿no? Pueden tomar de ella y de la otra para hacer su escrito y su video, ¿no? Que es el propósito, ¿vale? Toman algo de ellas. Oh my God. ¿Todavía me escucho, guys?
Sí, teacher.
Porque ya se trabó mi computadora. Dice stock. Vale, yo creo que ya dio todo. Entonces, de tarea para estos días, no tiene que ser precisamente para mañana, la ¿no? Como fecha límite de subir su video, ya sea en Classroom, ya sea que suban su escrito en Classroom y su video en WhatsApp o viceversa, ¿vale? ¿Cómo qué frases? ¿Se acuerdan de las frases que dijo Lucy? Do you remember the phrases that she used? A ver, dígamelas. Nada más.
¿Sí?
10 minutos, 17 minutos de video y no, nada. Anotaron, chavos. ¿Qué más? Ajá. What else? Ajá, ¿los otros no vinieron?
I work at company.
Ajá, I work in a company, sí, sí. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más?
De la forma incorrecta cuando decimos we are five in our family.
Ajá.
Y ella nos corrige diciendo que podemos decir I'm from a family of 4 o we are a family of 4.
Yes, correct. Es nada más. Rose está participando. Hello.
Cuando dijo de I was born en, por ejemplo,
Race.
Cuernavaca and raised in other country, ¿no?
O other city. Sí, perfecto. Ujú. ¿Y la edad? ¿Qué más mencionó de la edad?
I'm 16, así decirlo.
Ok, puede ser I'm 16. Y de la otra forma, si no quiero especificar.
I'm in my mid, y la edad, 26.
I'm in my mid-20s, ¿no? I'm in my mid-20s, sin decir específicamente. Ok. Okay, guys. So you talk about you and a bit of your family. No tienen que mencionar all your family, only the most important people in your family, ¿sale? 2 o 3 personas. Y bueno, do it. That's the only homework that I give you. See you later, guys. See you on Monday. Have a nice weekend.